再来看国际方面的消息。美国周五对伊拉克巴格达机场发动空袭，伊朗最有权势的军事指挥官西姆·苏莱曼尼丧生。62岁的西姆·苏莱曼尼是伊朗伊斯兰革命卫队精锐部队圣城旅的指挥官，负责中东地区的军事行动。苏莱曼尼遇袭身亡，标志着华盛顿与德黑兰之间紧张关系进一步升级。伊朗最高领导人表示，对于袭击事件背后的罪犯，等待他们之严厉的报复行动。他还宣布为期3天的全国哀悼。
President Trump tweeting an image of the American flag without comment Thursday night. But the Pentagon confirms the president ordered the strike that killed Qasem Soleimani, the commander of Iran's Quds Force.
My question to the Americans is, what's your plan for keeping Iraq stable after pulling this off?
According to a Pentagon statement, the U.S. took decisive defensive action to protect U.S. personnel abroad by killing Soleimani.
Qasem Soleimani engaged in horrific actions, killed Americans, and was a terrorist. I am not upset that he's dead.
But CNN national security analyst Samantha Vinograd is among those concerned about how this operation was conducted.
Obviously, we need to do what's necessary to protect the lives of Americans, but unfortunately, the actions this administration has taken for weeks and months now have taken a very difficult situation and made it much worse.
As Democrats expressed concern about the legalities of the strike, Republicans heaped praise on Mr. Trump. Senator Lindsey Graham tweeting, "I appreciate President Trump's bold action against Iranian aggression. To the Iranian government, if you want more, you will get more." As some Iraqis can be seen celebrating in the streets, the foreign minister of the Islamic Republic of Iran tweeted the attack was extremely dangerous and a foolish escalation, and that the U.S. bears responsibility for all consequences.
This is a direct action between the United States against a senior military commander of Iran. It isn't a proxy war anymore.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
目前，国际相关组织的专家访问巴哈马群岛。2019年9月，在飓风多利安侵袭期间，共有7.5万人受灾，大约1500人仍然住在避难所，大约600人仍然下落不明，确认已经有56人死亡。多利安造成许多人死亡和摧毁了许多人的生计，而且对基础设施造成了严重的破坏，使当地居民在重要的时刻无法获得关键服务。即使到现在，修复工作进程依然非常缓慢。国际卫生组织等机构的部署人员还在针对紧急医疗和灾后重建不断进行努力。
In an area still ravaged by disaster, volunteers clear the homes of those forced to leave everything behind.
We found a wedding dress, and we saw pictures and trophies. We had photo albums, a box of children's toys, and to have it just be completely ruined and completely taken out was a difficult day. And that's the average house here. That's the average house here.
Months after the most powerful hurricane to ever strike the Bahamas, parts of this island nation remain in ruins. Recovery often depends on the kindness of strangers.
I was actually one of the first volunteers on the ground. It was mixed emotions, very hard to process the amount of devastation that was here. So sorry. That's it. It's just, these people need a lot, and I have the time to give it, so.
Dana Tana Gherkin felt compelled to help after watching Hurricane Dorian throttle the Bahamas on television in September.
The water line hit, I guess, about here.
She and a group of volunteers are now working to rebuild some of the worst hit areas where the situation is still dire.
We have no electricity. For the most part, in this area, the people are trying to make sure that they have a place just to stay that has, no holes in the roof. We've had people come up to us and ask us just for water.
On Great Abaco and Grand Bahama Islands, where the storm first made landfall, thousands lost their homes, entire communities swept away. Earlier this month, the Prime Minister said 70 people had lost their lives and more were still missing. Millions of dollars of aid has poured in, but the storm left billions of dollars in damage.
There's a tremendous amount of work to be done here. That's why we're going to be here for 2 years.
In long-term destruction,
kick it and put your foot against it.
Volunteers must prioritise how to rebuild.
Disasters take a very long time to recover from. Years, not months. It's a bit of a misconception. And in places like this school, what we need is the manpower, the volunteers to come and do the work, to work alongside the Bahamians and help recover these communities.
Amid devastating loss, there are still signs of hope.
These people are dealing with a lot of pain. They have a very large need still, but they still laugh, they still smile, they still thank us.
Communities and volunteers banding together on a long road to recovery. Michael Holmes, CNN.
2019年的最后4天，朝鲜劳动党召开第7届中央委员会第5次全体会议。劳动党委员长金正恩在全会上作历史性报告，为朝鲜2020年将奉行的内政、外交、军事方针定下基调。金正恩在讲话中宣布，朝鲜将继续开发战略武器，直至朝鲜的安全和发展诉求得到满足。而且，世界将在近期目睹朝鲜拥有的新型战略武器。分析人士指出，会议将经济与安全相提并论，这是朝鲜为应对国内外严峻形势做出的重大战略调整，目的是对美国施加压力，以打破朝美对话僵局。
The new year brings bold strokes of bravado from North Korea's supreme leader, as his propaganda arm releases new video of a recent visit Kim Jong-un made to the revered Mount Paektu on a white stallion, complete with sound effects of the horse's gallop. The dictator brashly declares that his country will no longer be bound by his self-declared halt to the testing of his nuclear bombs and long-range missiles. As the world sees fresh video of Kim's officers standing in the water, then Kim posing with his wife Ri Sol-ju in a snow-banked stream, we also get an ominous new warning from the despot. The world will witness a new strategic weapon to be possessed by the DPRK in the near future. What kind of weapon could that be?
Many of us are expecting some kind of ICBM launch, whether it's an existing missile that they have or a variant or perhaps even a new ICBM like solid fuel. They could do additional submarine launches, they could do land-based medium range, they could do intermediate range missiles. They could, with an ICBM, finally demonstrate that they have a re-entry vehicle capability that would protect a warhead as it comes back into the Earth's atmosphere.
Despite the cheerful propaganda of Kim emerging from a photo op on Mount Paektu with soldiers frantically applauding, analysts say the young leader is likely frustrated tonight that his nuclear diplomacy with President Trump has not paid off for him.
There has been no lifting of sanctions. There has been no progress on ending the Korean War. And there's been no progress in having regular diplomatic negotiations without it being cut short. And so frankly, Kim Jong-un doesn't have much to show for it right now.
Venting that frustration, Kim's regime imposed a deadline for more progress toward a nuclear weapons deal with the U.S. to be made by the end of 2019 or else. The regime threatened a so-called Christmas gift to America, which many experts believed would be the testing of a long-range missile. That hasn't come yet. And even with his latest New Year's threats, analysts point out Kim did not say he's walking away from diplomacy with President Trump.
What Kim Jong-un has done by signaling assertiveness and aggressiveness, but also leaving the door for diplomacy, is to say, look, we want to negotiate as much as you guys do.
And the president, even as Kim's latest threats were trickling in from Pyongyang, said he's still banking on his personal relationship with Kim.
He likes me, I like him, we get along. I think he's a man of his word, so we're going to find out, but I think he's a man of his word.
But some believe if Kim tests a long-range missile soon, Trump and his team should no longer be so accommodating.
The U.S. should stop our own self-imposed constraints on military exercises. We've canceled at least 13 exercises. That's degraded U.S. deterrence and defense capabilities.
再来看娱乐方面的消息，《星球大战：天行者崛起》的票房成绩不断攀升，再创纪录。目前，这部星战系列的最新篇章已经破除了之前不良风评的诅咒，在北美范围内收获了4亿美元大关，而在全球范围内，这部影片已经收获了超过8亿美元的票房，成为一个新的传奇。
Feeling. The Force brought us together.
The Force is strong with this one. Variety reports Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker has zoomed past the $400 million mark at the North American box office. Combined with its overseas haul, the 9th movie in the Skywalker saga has made an estimated $815 million at the global box office. Award season news, shorts go big. Cable and streaming service Shorts TV announces the 2020 Oscar-nominated short films will be screened in theaters. The as-yet unannounced Oscar-nominated short films will debut in select markets on January 29th, with screenings nationwide starting January 31st.
Tell me the fairy tale again.
It's too scary, start seeing things that aren't there.
Here's a sneak peek at the upcoming horror yarn Gretel and Hansel. The latest adaptation of the Brothers Grimm fairy tale finds It Chapter 2 actress Sophia Lillis as Gretel, who runs afoul of a witch while walking in the woods. Alice Krieg plays the witch, while newcomer Sam Leakey plays Hansel. Gretel and Hansel scares its way into theaters January 31st. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
新年的第一个周末上映的新片主要以恐怖题材为主，最大规模上映的一部是改编自2003年日本经典恐怖电影的美国同名影片《咒怨》。美国版导演同为开创日本版的恐怖大师清水崇，地点同为日本，而加耶子依然是剧中的恐怖女鬼。但这部影片的受众局限，应当无法超越《星球大战》。现在票房上大放异彩的《星球大战：天行者崛起》，相信会在这个周末之后创下新的纪录。
This is Detective Muldoon.
This is Peter Spencer. Something happened to me at 44 Rayburn Drive.
A remake of the 2004 remake of the similarly titled 2002 Japanese horror film is the only new release Hollywood has to offer this week. Confused yet? Actually, this latest iteration in the Grudge franchise is something of a linear sequel/reboot. As Collider says, the events of the new Grudge take place concurrently with the events of the 2004 movie starring Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Police department.
The other difference between the new version of The Grudge and the 2004 version is the setting, with the original taking place in Japan, while this movie takes place in the United States. Even with a seemingly built-in audience, industry trade paper Box Office Pro predicts The Grudge will open to an estimated $8.5 million in ticket sales, placing it far behind current big-screen juggernauts Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker and Jumanji: The Next Level. Watching with the lights on in Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
How do you keep doing it? I do my job.
Alfre Woodard plays a prison warden affected by overseeing executions in Clemency.
We can decide whether we're pro or con capital punishment, but let's have a look at the people that we say, I don't want to know about it, you do it. Well, you need to see who does it and how it affects their life and how it destroys the lives.
You've given me hope. I can't do this on my own anymore.
Aldous Hodge portrays a condemned man.
The ambition, or rather the motivation for me behind my character was to show a human being beyond his perceived actions. I didn't want people to look and say criminal first, and then, I wanted them to see a human man.
Where some movies can take months to shoot, Clemency was filmed in just 17 days.
When you're prepared, we were all prepared. All the actors had discovered the human beings, the particular human beings that they're playing. When you're working on a budget, it actually disciplines you. So,
yeah, it does. Yeah. I mean, I think people come ready because they know we don't have that kind of time to play around with, and we don't have the funds to say, okay, we'll take another day. We'll do the, it's just you got to come prepared.
I give these men respect. All the way through.
In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
The first time I visited death row, I wasn't expecting to meet somebody the same age as me. From a neighborhood just like ours. Could have been me, Mama.
Michael B. Jordan portrays civil rights attorney Brian Stevenson in the biographical drama Just Mercy.
I feel like it's a movie that speaks on something that, obviously the movie takes place in the late 80s, but we're still going through it today. It's a conversation that we can't get fatigued on.
Rich boy from Harvard, you don't know what it is down here.
when you're guilty from the moment you're born.
We all need to see this. We need to see what happened back then and what is continuing to happen now, and how do we get active.
For Jordan, working with Stevenson was key to his role and the film.
We've spent a lot of time together, and the thing that really impresses me about Michael is that not only is he talented and really skillful, he's also deeply committed to these issues. And that's the thing that gave me the confidence to believe that this was a project that should move forward.
It took some time to craft because his memoir is so dense, and it's a lot of stories because it continues to happen every day. He's continually fighting these cases. He's in the Supreme Court. He's trying to change policies. He's trying to get the judicial system back on track.
If we can look at ourselves closely, we can change this world for the better.
In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
I remember that motorcycle, my best dress. You looked at me, and I knew.
A story of love and resistance during the Second World War is at the heart of Terrence Malick's A Hidden Life, inspired by true events.
What's happened to our country? We're killing innocent people, raiding other countries, preying on the weak.
Austrian actress Valerie Pachner stars opposite August Diehl in the film.
The character I'm playing or the person is Franziska Jägerstätter. She was an Austrian farmer during the Second World War, and she's the wife to Anne Conscientius Schechter. So her husband during the Second World War refused to serve for Hitler and was then imprisoned.
If God gives us free will, we're responsible for what we do.
I felt like it made the experience for me kind of deeper to have like the actual historic person, you know, in mind. It is challenging in a way because you feel like you're responsible for it, but then it's also beautiful because it sort of nourishes your performance. I also grew up in that area, and also my grandparents were farmers, so I could relate to the whole, you know, world and atmosphere of the film.
We have to stand up to evil.
Whatever you do, I'm with you, always.
In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
休息一下，马上回来。